spill the beans. It's a phrase we've all heard, maybe when someone accidentally reveals a surprise party, blurts out a secret they weren't supposed to share, or unintentionally exposes information meant to be kept hidden. But have you ever wondered why we say, spill the beans? Why beans of all things? And what does spilling them have to do with revealing a secret? To understand the origins of this curious expression, we have to travel back in time, farther back than you might expect, to ancient Greece. Surprisingly, the answer lies not in kitchens or food markets, but in politics and voting systems. In ancient Greece, democracy was practiced quite differently from how we know it today. When it came time to make decisions or elect leaders, the Greeks used a simple yet effective method: beans. Voting wasn't done with paper ballots or electronic machines, but with small objects that could be placed discreetly in a container. Beans were a common choice because they were easy to find, inexpensive, and small enough to fit into a jar without drawing attention. The system worked like this. Each voter would be given a bean, either white or black. A white bean signified a positive vote, while a black bean represented a negative one. Voters would walk up to a jar or container and quietly drop their chosen bean inside. Because the beans all looked the same, once they were inside the jar, it was nearly impossible to tell how someone had voted, ensuring privacy and fairness. The votes were kept secret until the designated time when officials would carefully empty the jar and count the beans. This process was crucial in ensuring that the results weren't known prematurely. However, if someone accidentally or intentionally knocked over the jar before the count was complete, the beans would spill out across the floor, revealing the results before they were meant to be disclosed. Whether it was an accident or an attempt to manipulate the outcome, this act of spilling the beans would expose the truth early, often causing tension, conflict, or disappointment. Over time, the idea of spilled beans revealing something prematurely evolved into a metaphor. While the Greek voting system faded away, the concept of spilling the beans stuck, becoming a phrase that described those moments when secrets were let out unintentionally. Some historians believe that the phrase resurfaced thanks to social clubs, fraternal organizations, or informal gatherings that used a similar voting method involving beans, marbles, or small stones. These groups often conducted anonymous votes to make decisions about memberships, leadership roles, or important club matters. In some cases, if someone accidentally knocked over the voting container, the scattered objects would reveal the outcome early, echoing the ancient Greek practice. While these social traditions weren't as politically significant as the Greek system, they helped keep the idea of spilling the beans alive. By the early 1900s, the phrase began appearing in American slang. One of the earliest recorded uses can be traced back to 1908, when a newspaper article described a political insider spilling the beans by revealing confidential information. From there, the expression quickly gained popularity, especially in casual conversation. It became the perfect way to describe those moments when someone couldn't keep a secret. whether it was an unintentional slip or a deliberate act. But why did the phrase gain such widespread appeal? Part of the reason may be that spill the beans is vivid, memorable, and easy to understand. The image of a jar tipping over, with beans scattering across the floor, creates a clear mental picture, one that instantly connects to the idea of something being revealed in a messy, unexpected way. Unlike more complex idioms, spill the beans feels natural in everyday speech, making it a phrase that has stood the test of time. Interestingly, the phrase has also taken on different shades of meaning, depending on how it's used. Sometimes, spilling the beans refers to an accidental slip of the tongue, like when someone reveals a surprise party before the guests arrive. Other times, it can describe a deliberate act of revealing information, especially if someone is eager to expose the truth. In both cases, the common thread is that the information comes out unexpectedly and often earlier than intended. The phrase has also found its way into pop culture. Movies, TV shows, and books frequently use spill the beans to describe dramatic moments when secrets are revealed. It's become a staple in detective stories, courtroom dramas, and romantic comedies alike. The challenge of keeping information under wraps. Secrets have a way of building tension, and whether intentional or accidental, revealing them often feels like releasing pressure from a tightly sealed container. Just like a jar full of beans, once the information is out, it's impossible to put everything back exactly the way it was. The phrase also highlights the power of timing. In the ancient Greek voting system, spilling the beans before the official count could create chaos and confusion. In modern conversations, spilling the beans at the wrong moment can spoil surprises, hurt feelings, or even damage relationships. Timing, as they say, is everything, and spilling the beans reminds us that revealing too much too soon can have. So the next time you find yourself in a conversation where someone accidentally reveals a surprise, blurts out confidential information, or lets a secret slip, you'll know where the phrase comes from. It's a reminder that language has a rich history, one that connects us to ancient cultures and reveals how certain ideas continue to resonate across generations. And who knows, maybe the next time you hear someone say, "Don't spill the beans," you'll smile, knowing that this simple phrase carries centuries of meaning, all thanks to a jar of beans and a bit of human nature that never seems to change. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution.